Hello, friends, followers, and people of the internet. I am here with another review just for you. Today, we're going to talk about two things: the African Goddess Initiation book and the African Goddess Arising Oracle 44 card deck. So this one I found first by Abiola Abrams, which led me to the book African Initiation Goddess: Sacred Rituals for Self-Love, Prosperity, and Joy. So I've gifted this book three times now. Just went to like Secret Santa thing and gave it to someone else. So I can't wait to follow up with her to see if she reads it. But these two products, there's a lot of conversations about depression and mental health and things of that nature. And for me, when I think about those types of things, one thing that's been helpful for me is just perspective and thinking about the fact that so many people came before us that were able to navigate life in even more challenging circumstances than we have, right? We have an endless access to knowledge now. So how or why aren't we using that information to help us grow, help reassure ourselves, help us get to a better mind state? And sometimes I think it's just because we need resources, we need tools to help us, figure that out. And these are those tools, okay? So first, let's talk about the African Goddess Rising deck. I was in a crystal shop in California in Marin County. I wish I remember the name of the shop. I'll try and put it in the description if I can find it. But it was a crystal shop, all those types of things, the vibes, the Palo Santos, and they had several decks, oracle, guide decks, tarot, all that kind of stuff. Now, that's not usually something I would gravitate towards, but what really stuck out to me as I was reading about it was that these are 44 breathtaking oracle cards to connect with the ancient African goddesses for guidance, insight, and empowerment. So I will tell you, there is not a single negative card in the deck, right? Even things that like might appear negative, like there's one that's like about scarcity, is really about empowering you to not have a mindset of scarcity, right? So there's a lot to it, but I just want to assure any and everybody that everything that you find in this deck is positive. Okay. So it comes with a guidebook, which also shows you how exactly to use the cards. You want to read the guidebook before you start for sure. I tend to like the 3-card spread. So you just like pick out a couple of cards, shuffle them up, and just let the African goddesses talk to you. So another element that's really amazing is, look at how beautiful this deck is. I mean, how are you not inspired? Like, what's not to love, right? There's so much going on here. And when you pick your card, we'll pick a card before we're done here today. But when you pick your card, you come over to the guidebook and there's information, historical information about the goddesses on the card, right? So you learn about where they're from. It's an excellent history lesson because they're all rooted in, Afro-Caribbean people that really existed by and large. So, there's different temples, you get the elements, you get the African Caribbean history. And then they just kind of like talk to you, and then they should talk to you about their embodiment. And then you always get a declaration. I am willing to know the truth. So it's just so much information in here. You see the card, you see the number. So you look at the number on the card, you read what's going on in here. But when you're ready for the next level, the same 44 that are on the card deck, she goes even more in depth in the book. And what I love about the book is it comes with, excuse me, it comes with like all kind of, advice, like how to honor the respective goddess, different rituals and things that you can do. Like every goddess has a ritual. So you can actually go through the book and do all of these activities to help you navigate any challenges you might be encountering mentally, or any things that you might be trying to let go of spiritually, right? Like there's so many activities inside of this book. So I actually read this book once all the way through just because I wanted to get more familiar with the historic elements. So I didn't do all the exercises. So my plan is when I reread it, I want to go back. You get a notebook because there's, all these kind of thoughts and ideas and, affirmations that she's instructing you to write down. So I want to go back through it and actually do all the exercises and do all that on the next element of it. But, on here I have a lot of reading videos. So I wanted to read a small piece from it, from the book for you. I'm just trying to find where it was. Doo, doo, doo. So there's just so much encouragement in here and uplifting elements that really, excuse me, help you level up and take things to the next level. All right. So this is coming from the Temple of Griots, Your Voice Energy Channel. And it says healing means prioritizing your self-expression and your creativity. This also means allowing yourself to cry with your full voice, loud and proud. We cry silently to feel our pain in a way that does not disturb or inconvenience others. Are you whisper-gasming? We whisper our tears and our orgasms. No more. Bawl. Let your voice out. Orgasm your voice out. Let yourself feel life. If you can't be vulnerable with yourself, then who can you be vulnerable with? Is your inner voice coming from you, your family who raised you, society, or your current community? Any voice that says it wants to keep you quietly safe, even if it's well meaning, ultimately may keep you small. Speak up and speak out. Growth and expansion happen when we are courageous enough to step beyond what makes us feel safe. If you want to go somewhere different, you can't get there by doing the same things. This means speaking up for injustice and being a voice for the voiceless. This means speaking up for others who are not in the room. Say what you must say. Write in your Goddess Soul book, I share my truth. A degree of openness in sharing our stories is important. Our traditions have been buried, hidden, and suppressed so much that in some of our cultures, they're in danger of disappearing. I see it in my own family. We need to reclaim and pass our hidden wisdom. We have to share our secret knowledge with each other so we can rise. So that was a very important passage to me that I had highlighted because a lot of the things that are in this book, we'll see Abiola make connections to nursery rhymes or, just kind of like things that people say. One of them was mumbo jumbo, right? People are like, oh, that's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Well, that was derived from actually one of the goddesses. And people would started calling her beliefs and her systems mumbo jumbo to dismiss what she was saying. So there's so much culturally that we are not taught, that is not shared with us, because for so long, African traditions, Caribbean traditions, all of these things were suppressed. And we weren't encouraged to, live in our light, speak our truth, or practice our own religious beliefs and thoughts and ideas. So what Abiola has actually done in African Goddess Initiation is compile a lot of those ideas that come from ancient traditions and empower us to be able to process those things. And she makes connections to the modern day. So you can just kind of be like, oh, I've heard that before. That makes sense, right? You're going to see Marie Laveau. You're going to see Sawati. I can't remember there's so many people that if you read this book, you're going to be like, I didn't know that was really her story. And so I just highly recommend that you dive into this book. Take your time with it. You could break it up, say, I'm going to read 4 goddesses a day. I'm going to read 2 goddesses a day and just process the information because there are so many ways for us to heal ourselves. We just need the tools. And this is a tool that I highly, highly recommend. So Abiola, I've been on your lives, following you on Instagram all the time. So thank you for everything that you've put out and that you've shared. It's been transformative to me and I'm sharing it with others. 10 out of 10, check out African Goddess Initiation.